Hello and welcome to the Procrastinarium. My name is Jan and today we're playing EU4 as Pomerania, soon to be glorious Russia. There are two major things I want to talk to you guys about before we actually continue with the game proper. I will continue playing in the background while I talk to you guys, but the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that the expansion pack for EU4 has been announced to be released on January 14th. I'm incredibly happy about that. I cannot even describe how excited I am for that to come out. The second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the new YouTube system that's in place for approving videos for monetization. Now, this normally wouldn't affect you guys who are subscribers to channels, simply because it has nothing to do with you. It is not your problem that our videos are having problems being monetized or are being flagged for copyright. But in the end, if they're being flagged for copyright and they're not being monetized, in the end it does affect you because we simply will not release as many videos as we normally would. And then that is when it starts to affect you guys. Now, what is going to happen is I am not going to stop uploading videos. I'll continue uploading videos, but what might happen is that actually the video schedule will not change. What will change is my recording schedule, which means that if you guys comment on videos, it might be an episode or two before I'm able to recognize it in game. But that doesn't mean that I don't take your suggestions to heart. I do. It just means that I was unable to implement those suggestions simply because of how the system currently works, which is slightly broken anyways. And I do apologize, but some videos might be delayed because some videos take longer to process for copyright than others, and I do apologize. And we're going to build one in Stettin. What I'm doing is building up our army force limit. And after we're done with that, we will most likely convert. Stop. We have a revolt in Warsaw. How dare they? We have improved relations with Austria. We want to be their ally, but currently our opinion of them is low, which makes no sense. We did just beat their ass, but it makes no sense. No goddamn sense. And start improving relations with them. We have a missionary in Vishna. And we'll continue on with the Protestant brief. After we're done with the Protestant brief, we'll go and transform into Prussia. Because I know you guys want me to become Prussia, and I will become Prussia. Training fields. We need to build a few more of those as well. Morale of armies lowered. So let's continue on with the brief. The next country that we're going to cover by the brief is the Netherlands, which had several popular movements in the Protestants, but none of them were really prevailing and none of them were really supported by the government, which is to be expected. I mean, it was against everything the government stood. What did happen with it is that they mostly went Calvinist, which then turned into the Dutch Reformed Church from the 1560s onwards, which we fully are in support of. And what happened was that it was very harshly prosecuted by Philip II of Spain, who at that time ruled the Netherlands. Speaking of Philip II. Despite Philip II's effort to mediate between the different religious groups in our nation, conflicts have been erupting on a regular basis. The situation has worsened, and without drastic measures, we will soon be engulfed in a religious civil war. Eradicate the heretics to bring peace. We get religious turmoil, or we should strive for a tolerant society. We're going to strive for a tolerant society. I'm afraid. Well, not really afraid. Don't care, but carrying on. What happened was that because Protestants were being prosecuted by Philip II of Spain, who ruled the Netherlands at the time, both lowland countries, Belgium and the Netherlands, what happens was that it kind of fueled the want for independence, at least in the Netherlands, which were technically the upper lowlands. And what it turned out being is that it led into the 80 Years' War and the split of the North-South. The North, the Dutch provinces, the modern-day Dutch provinces, were more or less Protestant, while the South, which is the modern-day Belgian provinces, remained Catholic. We've improved the relations with Hesse to 100. Hesse hates us for no apparent reason, if you ask me. Ay. Moving on into Hungary, because that's more or less the Dutch covered. What happened in Hungary is that the German and Slovak peoples more or less went for Protestantism, while the Hungarian population more or less went for Calvinism, which created a split in its own, but it wasn't as bad. Now we're losing some money. How much money are we losing? We're actually losing... How are we... damn it. We're losing a bunch of money because of our low stability, which we will boost in a second, as soon as we get the admin points. After the defeat of the Hungarians by the Ottomans and the death of their king, Hungary fell under Habsburg protection, and the more independent northwest of the country was continuously Roman Catholic and under Habsburg rule. And those Roman Catholics prosecuted the Protestants like they did everywhere, which meant that they dragged them into prisons and burned them on stakes. Because yay, Catholicism! And by the end of the 16th century, the majority of the population was actually Protestant. In the 17th century, however, there was huge prosecution and huge, and I mean huge, backlash by the Counter-Reformation movement and the Jesuits, which in the end meant that the entire nation was more or less converted back into Roman Catholic, into proper Catholics, as they saw them. Empty words. The Edict of Tolerance proclaimed by Philip II in a short while back has proven to be nothing more than mere words. There have been several violent incidents and atrocities against religious minority groups since the declaration. Philip II has taken the stance of complete ignorance. We can issue a new edict, gain 1 stability, and lose 40 ducats. We will do that. Stability is more important than money. Those are Catholic zealots. The next nation we're going to talk about... We've taken out another loan. This isn't looking good. They're going into police. Next nation we're going to talk about is Ireland. Ireland, because it was ruled by the English, more or less followed the English. Oh, for Christ's sake. We're just being hit by stability hits for no reason now. No reason whatsoever. Still losing a lot of money. Ay. I think did we go over the limit? No, we didn't. Huh. Corruption. Corruption is one of the most common and frequent factors of political and economic life. Never in history was there more prominent than in the times of feudal regimes. We are going to... What are we going to? How much is this going down? We're going to ignore them. Okay, the inflation, I can't. Anywho, do we have? Yeah, we do. In Ireland more or less followed the English rule simply because they were ruled by the English at the time, and kind of followed the English Reformation, which we all know became the Anglican Church. Religious turmoil. The reports have reached us the Emperor is planning to march against all Protestant states in the Empire. He is determined to cleanse the Holy Roman lands of all heretics before the end of the year. If we are to save one through fate, we'll have to make preparations. We can claim our allegiance lies with the Emperor, Mecklenburg turns Catholic, or we can proclaim religious independence, gain diplomatic Austria will hate us. But we've proven that we can take Austria. So Austria will hate us. Sorry, Austria, but that's how it's going to be. Irish Protest, well, Irish Protestantism, I wanted to say. The Protestant Reformation in Ireland was more or less fueled by government changes, other not really cultural changes. So the majority of Ireland continued being Catholic. But in Dublin, there was the Archbishop of Dublin. His name was George Brown. I think his name was George Brown. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. He was basically the Protestant leader in Ireland under the English rule. In Italy, the Protestant Reformation did spread quite a bit, but it was nowhere really successful, and it suffered a very, very quick decline in the 17th century. All it basically did is boosted the power of the Roman Catholic Church, and out of it kind of sprung out the Christian Church in Italy, which there's a difference between the Roman Catholic Church and the Christian Church in Italy. If I could honestly explain it to you guys, I would, but I don't fully understand it myself. We are the ally of Poland. We're not the ally of Poland? Poland, why do I hate you? Don't matter. But yeah, that's what it is. In Italy, there is only one remaining Protestant church, which is those of the Valdivian Calvinists in Western Alps, and it's the only remaining Protestant church. Next, we're going to move on to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the Prussian and the German minorities more or less went for Lutheranism, became Protestant. Oh, Netherlands lost. That's bad. We're gonna have to pound on Austria again and get them to release a few things. Most notably, return some cores. We're also going to lower our army maintenance for now, so we don't lose that much money. But in the Commonwealth, the Prussian and German minorities more or less went for Lutheranism, while the rest of Poland and Lithuanians went for Calvinism. The majority still remained Catholic. I should point out the majority of the Commonwealth was still Catholic, but it was tolerant under the Warsaw Confederation. They weren't really prosecuted. That tolerance did end during Sigismund III of Vasa, and by 1717 it was more or less outlawed to be anything else but Catholic, and you were severely prosecuted. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Slovene lands, which is my homeland. The Slovene lands, we actually celebrate the Protestant Reformation. We have a national holiday on the 31st of October, which is my birthday. And the most notable Protestant in the Slovene lands was called Primož Trubar. He more or less formed the Slovene Protestant Church and consolidated the Slovene lands, the Slovene language together. We consider him one of the birth fathers of our language, which is Slovenian. Which you haven't heard, it's Slavic, but different than the rest. And he consolidated it by publishing two books. One is called Catechisms and the other is called Abecedarium. They were published in 1550 in Tübingen. The other major reformer was Juri Dalmatin, who translated the Bible into Slovenian in 1584. This was after Primož Trubar. Primož Trubar is considered the birth father of our language, while Juri Dalmatin is not really a birth father, but he evolved the language into a set of norms that were actually used up till the 19th century in our language, which I find rather fantastic, because they were powerful men at the beginning of the century. Now, we need to improve relations. You are afraid of us. Aren't you actually a rival? Not anymore. Good. Who is improving relations in Moldavia? You can come back. And we're going to send you into Hungary. Actually, might send you up here. Yeah, we'll send you up there. And that's it for the nations I have to talk about. I mean, it did spread to a few other nations, but those were the important ones. I added the Slovene lands mainly because it had such an effect on the Slovene language and our culture that I wanted to put it in. Because most of you guys probably, I'm guessing, don't know that many things about Slovenia. Probably what the most you know is that we hosted the Eurobasket, if you're European, hosted Eurobasket last year. We had the largest ski jump in Planica, those who watch ski jump actually ski flying. And that's about it usually, and that we are part of Yugoslavia. And it ends there. So I added a little trinket in. Might talk about the history of Slovenia more extensively in an episode, but not at the moment. What we will do at the moment is something we've all been waiting. Why do we have two people? It's not good. We need only one. It's costing us PowerPoint. We're going to do something that you guys have been wanting to do for a long, long time. We are going to transform into Prussia. The territories once conquered and Germanized by the Teutonic Order will always need protection against rapacious neighbors. Should the order fail in this duty, we can take their place and usher in a new era of prosperity, of Prussian discipline. They are our vassal. How is our improved relations? Good. We are going to reform into Prussia. We have Admin Tech 10. We are not a subject nation. We are at peace. We are Protestant. We are an Ostpreußen, Warmia, Danzig, and have cores on them. What will happen is we will gain cores. I think we'll gain cores on everything we have. But we would gain cores on Ostpreußen, Warmia, Danzig, Memel, Kurland, and Samogitia. Actually, we might. Yeah, these two. And we get increased centralization for 10 years. We get national revolt risk +1, national tax modifier +10%, which is quite important. Gain 25 prestige. We change to the country changes to Prussia. Prussia becomes the new primary culture. Stettin becomes Prussian. Hinterpommern becomes Prussian. We gain new traditions and ambitions. We're going to do that now. Hello, welcome to glorious Prussia. There are several things that happened when we transformed into Prussia. I was hoping Prussia has a different color, actually, a darker color, but this color will do. It's usually depicted in this kind of color in historical maps. Several things happened when we transformed into Prussia. We still had all our cores, although the cores of the nations that were here before us remain, but the Pomeranian ones went away, which is rather fantastic. Brandenburg now loves us even more than they did before, even though we don't know about them, so we're going to unpause just ever so slightly. Suzerain Overlord. Ah, fantastic. I should note that Brandenburg was the one that formed Prussia originally. But several things happened while we formed into Prussia, but it's kind of the end of the episode. We kind of came to the end, which means that we're not going to talk about what happened. What? We got brand new ideas as Prussia. We now have the same ideas as Brandenburg has. We gained new traditions. There is one thing we are going to do, though, before we change, because we... Oh no, we can't. We need to be level 12. Oh, these are so far above us. Ay, ay, ay. Puerto Rico. But we're going to talk about the glorious nation of Prussia in the next episode. I think the next episode we're only going to go through our new Prussian ideas and through our Prussian traditions, and we'll try to figure out where we should go next. If you guys have any suggestions on who we should invade next, or where to turn our military might, which is quite mighty, or our naval might for that matter. It's not that mighty, but it's still naval might. Lithuania hates us a bit more. Even more. But If you guys have any suggestions, as always, leave them in the comments below. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye bye!